Greetings to all of you who have gathered today to felicitate the International Day of Nonviolence, which is Gandhi Jayanti, the birthday of my great grandfather Mahatma Gandhi, whom I call Bapu. It is irony that after declaring 2nd October as the International Day of Nonviolence, neither the UN nor those who are signatories on that declaration have bothered to actually make it into a significant International Day of Nonviolence. Now, no procedures, no guidelines have been issued, and nobody in sincerity is observing that day as non-violence. Even amongst people, it has now become a ritual where merely it is mentioned and talks about non-violence are given, but in our actions we do not see the manifestations of non-violence even for that one particular day. It seems as if it has become too much for humanity to even dedicate or devote 24 hours to the practice of non-violence. Non-violence doesn't merely mean no conflict. Although broadly speaking, conflicts are seen as the manifestation of violence, but non-violence, the ideal of non-violence is to lead a life which does not violate, does not impinge upon anybody else's space, does not make anybody else give up something so that somebody else can enjoy that. That is the essence of non-violence, and that is a kind of non-violence that all of us can aspire to live by, and that is what is required today. In an island state like Hawaii, I don't have to mention the dangers we face from climate change and global warming. Hawaii's existence is now threatened by the fallout of global warming and climate change. And so it is a result of the continuing violence of our lifestyle, our materialistic lifestyle, our consuming lifestyle. We are consuming the resources, we are consuming the share of other life forms to nature and our environment, and we are destroying that fragile system which we have taken for granted. And that is one of the greatest acts of violence that humankind has committed on our environment and life forms. And we must, at least on this day, become aware and audit our own actions and how we are destroying our own lives and the lives on which other life forms have an equal share and justification, how we are denying them that also. And so, if at all there is a significance to this day of non-violence, then these are the thoughts that we have to keep reminding ourselves of, and the violence of our prejudices, the violence of our greed, the violence of our actions, the violence of our language, and the violence of our thoughts. All this have to be taken into account, because the ultimate conflict that results is a total of all these forms of violence. You have all gathered to commemorate this day today at the Gandhi Center at the University of Hawaii, and once again I greet you on this gathering, and I would like to remind you of the fact that spiritualism was very dear to Bapu, and he believed in the religious practice of spiritualism. But his spiritualism and religious practices were way beyond the constrained format of religion that we have now adopted. And he subscribed to the religion of humanity, of life form, of the earth itself, the forces that came about to create life on this earth. That force was his deity and his religion. And for him, religious practices the greatest religious practice was service, selfless service to humankind. And so, even while praying to God, he evolved a system of praying where it would become productive. Generally, we, even the people who are spiritually inclined and meditate and do meditation and chanting and things, we confine ourselves to that activity which doesn't produce anything, doesn't create anything. But in Bapu's form of worship, while the prayers happened, while the chanting of Lord's name happened, he engaged in the activity of spinning khadi, and he actually produced the yarn from which cloth was made, which was used to clothe himself. And so he turned his spiritualism and his meditation into a productive time also. We must also remember that we pride ourselves at being able to multitask. But in many things, we confine our activity and convince ourselves that no, we just have to do this, and at that time, we cannot do anything else. That is an excuse that we make because we do not want to challenge ourselves. And so, if we convince ourselves that every moment that we live, every breath we take, we can be productive too at that time while doing other things, then we will create a sustainable lifestyle which will go towards producing our needs rather than us being merely consumptive and consume all the resources and gifts of nature and the fruits of nature that we've taken for granted for so many centuries now, ever since civilization happened. Sometimes I wonder how misleading this entire definition of civilization is, because after human beings became civilized, they became consumers, they became users of everything that was provided to them. They did not bother about conserving things, they did not bother about limiting their wants. And that greed has seen to the downfall of many civilizations. We are also on that precipice where we don't know whether we will jump off in the future or we have taken the jump of no return already. This and events like the International Day of Nonviolence and Gandhi Jayanti remind us to take stock. So as you gather today, please think about all these things and try to make a difference to life from tomorrow. My best wishes to all of you, and thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope what I had to say, I was able to transfer and commit to you, convey to you the message of Gandhi, my great-grandfather, my Bapu, that I have learnt in all these years. Thank you very much.